So I would like to thank you guys, first of all, for joining us. These are amazing guys you will see very shortly.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, and maybe we should start with the first round of introduction. I will just tell the names and they will do the rest for themselves. So Gabi, Zsolt, and Gergő, Greg, the way you want.
Yeah.
Gergő is probably the most preferred.
Egedi, maybe.
Egedi, yeah, family name.
Yeah, it works.
Maybe Gabi, you should start.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Thank you for the invitation. So I'm Gabi Mátyás-Kollár, and with quite long background in financial services, multinational companies, and innovation was everywhere. So that's one of my favorite areas. And also startups were included. I was part of Morgan Stanley's Multicultural Innovation Lab Advisory, and also met so many groups of funders, mentored a few people who were setting up companies. So that was my part. And recently I'm involved in what AI brings for us. And that's why we selected the title as well. And it's great thinking about what AI can bring for us and what are the good sides, bad sides, because we have to be mindful as well about it.
Thank you. My name is Zsolt Vaszary. My thing is innovation and driving innovation on a global scale. I've always been involved in... long time ago, I had some background in advertising, but I burned out. So when my daughter was born, and I said I don't want to write useless pitches to advertisers that will select their friends anyway. Yeah, true. And I'm not going to sacrifice my time, especially my time with my daughter. I've decided to turn towards innovation and startups and technology on a global scale. Previously, I was involved in a very, very different startup compared to what I'm doing before or doing today. That was in the education space. We created a camera-based solution for natural science education. And the goal there was not to sell a piece of software. It was not to sell licenses or anything like that. The goal was to help kids enjoy and get involved in natural sciences a lot more than they do today. Actually, if you search me on YouTube, you will see a totally different face, but you will find a TEDx speech, which is just about that. And that made a pretty big impact. It was actually later on picked up by Intel, and Intel had an education vertical at the time with the Classmate PC hardware, so it was loaded on all the Classmate PCs. So even a lot of kids are still using it today. For a brief period in between, I was also working as a consultant for venture capital firms for their companies, how they can go global and international with their innovations. And today, I'm a co-founder of more like an applied AI solution, which is serving the unattended retail space. If you're interested, you can check me out, or I can tell you after the... I don't want to make this very commercial, so I just want to contribute rather than advertise myself.
Hi, it's Gregory Egedi. I guess I've been a TEDx licensee. Now you're saying it, that you did something for TEDx. I've been a TEDx licensee, I guess the first one in Budapest. And then we did it together with Danubia and such. So over there I had to do something. But like originally, I guess I born as an artist. I was drawing things on the walls of my father's and mother's apartment, and they were not really happy about it. But anyway, so that's how I started. And one day I got to have ad agency that runs advertising stuff in Hungary and in other countries around Europe, and not just Europe. But lately I thought I would really like to do like painting. So like I'm a tribal painter besides these things, which I do. And while I was having that kind of flash that I going back to paintings and doing images, AI arrived in 2022 and I started to have like a nervous breakdown, like literally a point of feeling like it's going to take away everything I know. Like it's going to take away the advertising agency, the paintings which I can do. Oh my God, what's going to happen? So that was the point when I started to get into AI as a little deeper. And lately I found myself being, a vibe coder, wannabe indie hacker. I don't know if that makes any sense of you guys. Yeah, that's what I do. In short, I guess.
And he's also a brand coach, just to mention that Network Smith, the brand, would have not come to life without his help. And also he designed the logo, so thanks.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if the logo is up there, but yeah.
And the name
yeah,
is
it's up
just
there,
saying,
yeah.
but, yeah.
With the little...
Did you use AI for that?
Actually, no. We used, I actually have this thing like that. When you wake up, that those things when you wake up are most of the time much truer than others. And this guy happens to call me at the moment when I'm waking up.
Which is usually a late afternoon.
Yeah, 4 p.m. basically, yeah. And then we started talking. It was like, he's starting to talk to me like business things. Well, okay, let's just run it. And then he started telling me like, what's the story behind Network Smith, but it had a completely different name and but no other logo. And we figured out that his name is doing the network. Like he's actually putting the whole thing together by his name. So I'm like, that's how we started.
Thanks.
Yeah, I thank you.
So just circle back to the original subject that we have. So what we called it, what has AI ever given us? We have to confess we already did one podcast together, which you can probably find on any one of our profile pages on LinkedIn. It's very long. You can fast forward. My secret hack for that is I usually watch these at 1.5, 1.75 speed.
I used to do that as well.
I guess we
The
all do that,
brain
anyway.
the brain is amazing.
Yeah.
So just to give people a small life hack, I think that's very
Does
very
anyone
useful.
still watching YouTube in one, like speed one?
Does it exist?
I guess nobody does that anymore.
Okay, maybe it was obvious for
Yeah.
everybody.
Anyone watching anything on YouTube at all?
Yeah, exactly. Also, on the other hand, put it to Gemini, let me know what's happening, and you got it.
And so the title of that and the title of today's discussion goes back to or sort of reflects on the Monty Python classic when they were talking about what have the Romans ever given us. And then they say, sanitation and this and but what else? So it's kind of around that idea and that mindset. And maybe we could use your example just right away, because you said that you saw AI emerging and you started thinking to yourself, oh my God, it's going to take away my creative business, all that stuff.
My art business,
and there was one point in time when it felt like, okay, that's not what we expected from AI to give us. We can go back to Amazon warehouses packing boxes, and AI will create art and music and all the fun stuff and all the creative things. And since you are a creative, maybe you can give us a little insight on how you see it today and maybe moving forward.
How do you get out of existential numbness and feeling that like you're not going to make it for the next year? And anyway, somehow during these researches, a friend of mine, like you said, like you didn't run the agency because like it turned out that friends usually giving each other's jobs. So I think the only reason I'm still running this agency is like I've got like lots of friends. That's the thing. Is that,
good for you.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's like the guy gives me a call on New Year's Eve saying like he's got an issue that he has to give prize offers to SMBs, governmental agencies very quickly for a certain kind of usual same-looking PDFs. So this is the problem. He has to Google a lot, and he has to give prize offers based on the Googles. So it's like, okay, what is that? So like, basically, we have to read the PDF. So that's an OCR system, and we have to make the search. So we have to ask Google to do the search for us. So we started to let them know how to do the scraping thing. So like combining the two things together could actually become a tool. So I thought, given the idea that this could be done very quickly, so I kind of saw videos about it. So I thought I can do this in a day or two, maybe. And it actually became true. So like, if you want to scrape Amazon and you want to get some very detailed data out of it, out of zero coding experience, which I'd never had, I was able to do that in 2 days. And it was like, what? I'm getting this data on my computer that I should be looking in Google. So I told him that, yeah, no problem. I can do this scraper for the whole world, which scrapes every kind of websites on earth that exists. No, I cannot. So but in a half year, I figured out that's not really true. But for the first 2 days, I was really like, okay, this is what I wish to get from AI. Yeah, end of the day, it turned out that it's a bit more complex than that. So
and that's how AI has run out of all the available information on internet, because that's already true that it has been trained on all the websites that exist. So now the question is like, what is the next step?
I wish I would know.
Can I ask you something that I was actually thinking about asking AI itself, but you're a better target for this
It's
question.
an interesting one in general. But okay.
Yeah, no, seriously. What I was thinking of asking AI, and maybe after this I will do, I see a lot of good automation options. I see a lot of, even structured content from various sources. But what about creativity? And creativity, not in just taking other people's, whatever, paintings, images, whatever, things like that, but really creating something from nothing to something, so 0 to 1.
Yeah.
And do you think it's capable of that? Because you have to prompt it anyway, so part of that is already your creative input, and it just tries to visualize it.
Yeah. Was there ever anything before there was nothing? So it's like there's no such an event ever when, like, when you watch a whiteboard that you want to paint there, that nothing was there in your mind before. It just never existed, that state. So
Actually, all the creativity is already inspired by existing things.
Exactly,
So
like nature.
That's how you always recreate it.
Yeah.
And
So we're just recreating things constantly. It doesn't matter if it's a human or if it's an AI.
Yeah.
Now I'm recreating things with an AI together. We're figuring out stuff together. And honestly, it has really good ideas sometimes.
Yeah, that's my experience as well. So that when you ask AI to help you in creative ideas and finding out like maybe the name of your startup, then you give your background about what you think or what is it creating, what is your background in it, so that you can make it personal, and then it comes up with surprisingly good ideas. So
Actually, I'm
it
probably
is knowing you, and because you can train it on your data beforehand, so that will be adopted to you. So it can be your own personal AI environment.
The first thought of mine, like how I want to start to use AI, is like I have like a 14, 15-year-old diary that I'm keeping like daily, like I'm
a
writing
physical
lots of,
one.
No. It's written in code, like in words,
Text.
in text. Yeah, thank you. So I was thinking like, okay, I want to put that one into a rag, like into a box which has no connection to the internet, but only I can use it. So that would actually learn me so much that it could give the kind of answers which I would. Still never happened.
And
but
did you take the discoverability option on the ChatGPT?
Yes, it ticked off.
After our conversation,
Yeah.
I also did it.
Yeah.
And it's very well hidden actually to find something.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. So you know about what this was about. So a few months ago, ChatGPT had the option of discoverability, and that meant that if you ticked that box or you did not untick that box, then all your searches were available for Google search. So that meant that people could even ask about like, tell me about this person's medical history or family issues, and it was discoverable. So it was available. And then they stepped back from it because they just realized that users were not really aware of what is happening, and that could bring lots of risks about revealing data they were not really meant to reveal.
But that's your reason why you really switched to Perplexity, right?
Yes.
Because
I mean, a lot of other reasons. I was going to experiment with it anyway, but let's put it this way. I found no reason to keep ChatGPT beside Perplexity. And when I discovered Perplexity, I saw that this option to tick the tick box and say no discoverability was not even an option. And so I was going, okay, so is it automatically sharing everything or is it automatically not sharing everything? So I asked him, hey, what do you do with my personal data? Because, and I explained to him, because I'm a little bit concerned about what happened with ChatGPT and the Google searches basically resulting in people's private, intimate questions asked to ChatGPT.
Like and you are using ChatGPT as your psychologist.
Yeah,
maybe.
and all kinds of very, very sensitive data. And it said I don't have, that really right away convinced me. It said I don't have that option because by default, I'm not sharing anything that you're sharing with me. So I don't have a button to tick because you don't have that option to try to have it shared with everybody, which obviously
By the way,
nobody wanted to.
Have you heard about Comet from Perplexity?
Yeah.
I just got an invitation like 2 weeks ago from my brother.
Oh.
And
this is what we were talking about.
yes.
And I asked
So
you
usually-
to give me an invitation as well.
Yeah, I will. I haven't opened my laptop since we talked. So when I get there, I will. But actually, it works. So what does, as we discussed, ChatGPT runs actually a virtual browser when you want to do something. It works the other way around. It's a Chromium browser that includes Perplexity. And it really creates amazing stuff. And I have one use case that I found it super useful for. One of the kind of repetitive tasks that is very time consuming in my everyday work life when, I'm connecting people, right? So it's mostly about, okay, let's find people in my network, identify them based on different criteria, and then put it into a Google Sheet, name, public LinkedIn profile. And that's such an easy thing, yet requires so much, time. And I can't really outsource it to anyone because it's my personal access to my LinkedIn, for instance. And I combine Comet, right? I already forgot the name of the tool I was talking about. Thank you. With Happenstance. I'm not sure if you heard about Happenstance. So Happenstance is also something I discovered just a few months ago. It's actually an AI which gets access to your calendar, email, good luck and be brave, WhatsApp,
Trust, privacy,
iMessage,
data risks.
everything. Yes, I haven't tickled. And when I can just tell Happenstance who I want to find in my network, and it works really well. So I started running Happenstance in Comet, and when I got the results, I simply asked actually Comet to create a new Google Sheet and put the names in there one by one. And I went to sleep. And by the morning, it was there. So, I mean, it's a different logic, as I understand, compared to ChatGPT, right? Instead of running a virtual browser, the browser runs actually, and it acts like you and on the side, you can see what is happening at that moment.
I think it's pretty much the area and the time when we start to build our own tools, own softwares, own micro softwares for ourselves. It's just so simple, really just telling any of the, I don't know, board.new, you name it, many kind of places you can like just start to let the software know what kind of end product you want to have, and it appears to be useful. We saw a movie. I don't really know the name of it, but it was about a little kid that was closed in a room. Like he was not really a going out kind of person, so he used his internet in the room, and he got in a kind of fight with the classmates of his, but it was an emoji fight. So like they were talking nasty things to each other via emojis, but that nasty, that end of the day, the girl gets stabbed because of these things, what she said. This is a fictional movie, yeah? And the whole story is about this, that like X level people like we who are like very old guys, we don't really know so much emojis, what that could happen. So a translator would be like a necessary and a good thing to have. So I was going like, okay, what if we would have an extension that reads, well, okay, social medias, but so I tried Facebook, of course, like Gen Z is not on Facebook, but at least I tried it on something. But so end of the day, for about like 2-3 hours of work, I had a translator of emojis that warns me on Facebook about like which emoji tells awful stuff to someone else, which is to be understood how if they're put in a certain order after each other. So
sounds a bit boomer, but yeah, I think it works.
it's like you figure it out and it happens in like such a quick manner. So that's the best part of it.
By the way, who owns stuff we create with AI?
That was one of my favorite questions. And I think, Gabi, you are the one who was demonstrating the most knowledge about this. So maybe I let you give us your 2 cents about this. And then, of course, we try to act smart as well. But we create something with AI. Let it be code, let it be art, let it be whatever. The IP, the intellectual property.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but actually, it's if you are in a business which is creating data and also creating solutions with AI, then it's really worth checking that, because when you create that from AI, usually there should be a stamp of that is created by AI. But of course, if someone is smart enough, that could be removed, and it can go really far. So that nowadays it is really difficult to differentiate AI-generated content from natural content, and it can work on the other way as well. So I myself went through a test when I had to determine whether something is AI-created or natural. And I was already biased towards thinking of natural things, that it might be created by AI. So we have to be really aware of that is happening. And of course, all the people here, you have a good knowledge of it, but people who are not that knowledgeable, like kids or elderly people, they can be really, really easily driven to believe that something which is created by AI is real. So I think that's a really fundamental risk.
Actually, it happens quite often that my son, at the age of 13, for another week, explains my mother, his grandmother, why that's not a real cat, It happened quite a few times.
Because it has 10 paws.
No, not even that. I mean, it's getting really, really, really like professional. It's becoming like hard, especially for elderly people to distinguish,
As an agency, we work for the European Community of Trademark Awards kind of guys, and they're collecting IP people, lots of IP people.
Okay.
And they giving out bulletins, and I was checking like what are they saying about ITs and IP rights of AI, and when I summarized them, of course, like I put all the text into private ChatGPT and whatever. And it turns out that like you really got to choose your jurisdiction. So like if it's EU, if it's China, if it's the States,
North Korea.
North Korea. Depending on where you would like to have your business running, basically you can IP on that continent. That's what I see from.
But what if
IP
just
lawyers.
ask? And we always talk about ChatGPT, and a lot of people don't even know what GPT stands for. But what happens if we ask AI to write a song and it becomes the next, I don't know, Gangnam Style making $1 billion or whatever? Can they come and say, "Hey, we wrote that
who's
song.
cashing it in?
Yeah, we wrote that song for you, and you did nothing to it. You didn't change it.
But you prompt it well. I mean, it's not easy to prompt it. My older son, again, he's into music a lot, making music, and he's been experimenting with Suno for months.
Yeah.
And when he first tried, he couldn't really create anything, and he invested so much time, and now he can use it really well, but it takes time. So you also have to invest time. And I also realized also with video generation with AI, if you don't speak the language literally of the video, then you can't really create anything with AI. And it's pretty much the same with music.
Okay.
So you have to invest something. That's why it's actually even more complex, to answer the question.
We just. Sorry.
Yes, please.
What about the IP rights? And when it comes to OpenAI, they are ascribing the rights to the user. However, they're not responsible if this content is infringing someone else's rights. So it's you as a user have to check whether you're not infringing someone else's IP with this song.
But who can be that someone else? But who can be a third party in this setup when it's let's say ChatGPT or whatever service, me and who else is involved?
Make a remake of
Okay.
a movie or a song.
Okay. Yeah, or maybe you can tell like I have a song in my head and then create something and it turns out that it was actually stolen. Yeah.
Or just you remember that it was already existing. But
Yeah.
with AI, you can check it more easily if it existed before or not. So
That's right.
that could be part of your creation, and you have to use it as it was your creation.
Yeah.
And that was actually why a few platforms. I'm not completely sure whether that was YouTube or which platform, but they removed the option to give credits to those content which was fully created by AI, because you can just automatically run it and make money off those.
But how
So,
can they, not human beings, but algorithms
Google
figure it
Shorts.
out?
that's a good question of the algorithm, but definitely might be possible. And of course, cannot be 100% sure. But why would you just pay out money for automatically AI created content? So that's
I mean,
the other
there are
side of the
tutorial
question.
videos how to become rich, and generate money, and passive
With zero
income.
effort.
Yes,
effort.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but that's what they wanted to block after a while.
There was actually a website. I think it's more than a year ago when I came across, but it openly talked about it, that everything, it's like as a news site with news coming every day, that everything was automated and AI generated there. I can't recall the name. Probably if you Google it or Perplexity it, you will find it. But I mean, it was more than a year ago, and I think it was already surprisingly accurate, and hard to figure out it was not AI. I mean, it was not human beings.
Do you guys use make.com?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's like, there is it. I mean, you
That
put the
things are
ingredients
actually-
together and it revises, it double checks if it's like human enough. If it's human enough, then the post goes out.
Yeah, and actually that can take us to a very interesting question, whether you can create whole companies run by AI and fully autonomously. And actually we are very close to that. So technically it is possible. So you can run a company with only AI agent employees, because they also have their job descriptions, they also have the processes they are responsible for, they can interact, they can respond to a client request, and they can deliver goods, they can even create the goods. it is just a question whether it is possible to run it fully autonomously. And then the question again, who is responsible for the whole thing? So if it goes the wrong way or something happens, then someone has to be responsible.
What if we turn it upside down and we say there are human beings working, but the managing director is an AI? I heard about that kind of...
Some countries wanted to have AI for governance.
Yeah,
that would work well.
Yeah, in Albania, they declared...
Minister for the public expenses is the AI.
Exactly, and that's how they want to keep it clean and clear from...
Cannot be bribed, at least, hopefully.
That was the goal, so to make it the...
Differently with Robux, maybe.
The actor who is
You have to pay in
responsible
Bitcoin,
for keeping it clean, actually. So that's possible. And also company boards are experimenting with having something which could be called another board member who is AI and who is taking insights and advises the firm about their processes and
Actually,
and
if you ever
structures.
visit my website, networksmith.io, it's not that you have to, and you go to the team section, I felt that I needed one, just to be like, how to say that, inclusive enough. I wanted to have one lady who is not a white person in the team. So AI generated it. And her name is, I think, Miss Gen AI or something. And she represents all the mixture of tools that I use that helps me not to hire her in real life.
I'm not completely sure how to feel about that because because I'm all in for female inclusion.
Good news is that I have 0 employees anyway.
It's a female-ish AI.
Yeah, everyone is virtual, literally,
Okay, so that might be a good thought, but otherwise, I'm also concerned about that. AI brings opportunities, but also you can hear that so many companies are either not hiring or reshaping the teams so that one senior coder has a team of AI agents instead of juniors, and there are less opportunities for women because traditionally women were involved more in the more administrative tasks. So there is a few things we have to think about.
Actually, you need to know that my biggest fear, I organize events sometimes. My biggest fear is that Gabi see my post about it. Mm-hmm. Because if I can't bring enough women and, because I really always do my best to have 50-50. I really honestly do my best.
If not, he gets my criticism.
And I sometimes I feel she comes with the first comment. And which is, like a good kind of the night before the event, like Gabi's gonna see my post, and I don't have enough women on the board. But yeah, it's actually, it's an interesting question. I started thinking about it, not in relation with the women-man ratio or whatever, but more like, how are we gonna have seniors 20 years from now if we don't hire juniors today? So I think somehow companies should have a longer term investment into this. And, hiring juniors was always a long-term investment, but not as long as today, and now it's tough because an entire generation will miss out or they have to find another way.
It's a bit like Salesforce is laying off like thousands of people. Yeah. But those people are going to find another place where they're going to be juniors and they're going to start up their own AI things.
Now.
Yeah.
What's going to happen in 3 years from now, 4 years from now? If everything goes, with the same pace, things keep on developing.
We just need to look back and think about when internet was coming up and became much more used than before. So then there were new roles created and a new type of businesses came up. So that is what usually happens. But of course, it's asynchronous. So it doesn't happen at the same time when you don't need certain jobs anymore or not at that number than before. And until you create the new jobs and you create the new trainings and background, because even though AI is like 70 years old, so it's not like a new thing, but the type of democratized AI was brought by the LLMs, the large language model chatbots. So this is creating a new momentum. And now the AI specialist who is invested in that area has like maybe 2 years of experience, and they are bringing also that premium into the firms, which has created friction within the firms with people coming up from almost no background in AI, and they are overpaid compared to others. So lots of questions.
Yeah, but you know
are coming up.
what just came up in my mind is that maybe it's gonna help people to go towards becoming entrepreneurs, because when juniors will not
Absolutely.
be hired, and they can learn anything anyway, through the internet, and then maybe more people will choose to become entrepreneurs and not take shitty jobs, at entry level. Let's be honest, at least my generation experienced that, right? When we started our careers.
Honestly, kind of had the same feeling that like I don't understand people who don't start their own business when AI is up, but there are people who just don't want to start their own business.
That's
who just
true.
want to like have a kind of job, and their life completely different than their jobs. So
Yeah, but especially in countries like Hungary, I think the potential of growth is huge. So many young people don't consider becoming entrepreneurs, even among the ones who would have the skills and the abilities and personalities. So there's a room still for growth in that. And of course, we all know people who would never want to become entrepreneurs, and it's completely fine.
Maybe there is something in the education what we could do, because
There's a lot we should do.
something we could.
of course, but about the entrepreneurial mindset, because education is like clearly a big question, whether what now kids are memorizing is helping them to be prepared for a world when everything is changing, not from month to month, but from day to day. So are they prepared for it? But the same way, we can help people to get prepared for or just consider the entrepreneurial mindset, because we are too much maybe conditioned to think about the 9 to 5 jobs, and many times it's not even the remote jobs, because many companies are still insisting on the office work and being there 5 days.
Yeah,
So
we are going back in time a little bit now. But you really wanted to add something.
I wanted to mention one thing, that just think about the job market today. And we're seeing many places on LinkedIn that juniors, seniors, everybody is using ChatGPT to write their own CV, sending in. And on the other side, we're seeing the companies, HR agencies are using the ATL models also for getting, and we're now on a point when
AI talks to AI.
yeah, bots are talking to each other.
nobody is really getting human touches, and how are we going to get those people who are really understanding it?
I completely agree on that. I mean, I come from a sector that you guys, of course, I come from biotech and actually laboratory work. For me, it's extremely important to get people that actually know what the CV says is actually something they can do. So for that reason, I actually have done my own concept of hire, which is literally a step-by-step concept where I filter them, and then at the end of the tunnel, actually they get to go to the lab and do the work. And they are set in a concept which, in the case, if the CV says what they actually said that they were going to do, they're still supposed to be doing this in 30 minutes.
This is in person.
In
In person.
They need
Yeah.
to be there in
Yeah.
person. Now we come to the other part that I think is extremely important to remember. And I also tell that to my kids. Guys, one of the parts which is super fun with life is, the movies when they have a montage, when everything happens? It's like you start with something and then it's montage. And then the end of the movie where someone is happy or successful or whatever. actually the montage is something that is worth having. And in that case, I see AI actually working with us to make that happen in a way that we are successful at the end. So yeah, just
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, good comment. Yeah, just go on. Sorry.
To be more inclusive, because we don't want to just do all the talking, and we would like to see what you guys have been experiencing. So the main subject here, we were thinking, what is AI going to how is it going to help us, and what's going to be delivered until 2030. And biotech, and I really jumped on when you mentioned biotech, because I can't really remember the name of that effective discovery, but it was, I think, around hormones or something. I can't remember exactly, but was actually helped by AI. So everybody's talking about large language models, and democratizing is great, and being able to do a lot of things that normal or everyday humans would not be able to do because of lack of coding experience or whatever. But then
and lack of time, because you need like long time to experiment.
But then there are hyper personalized solutions for achieving certain really meaningful, really impactful, really important problems, and I see healthcare being one of them. So maybe if you can explain, what has AI given you guys since you've had access to it?
Biochemistry, all the biologists, all the chemistry, all the stems, so to speak, they started using something which is called multi-dimensional analysis. Way back, they're talking about late 80s.
Okay.
That tells you more about my age than you should know, but so that means that we, in this case, had already that mindset in mind. Now, the problem that comes with AI, and I'm starting with the problems, is the fact that we are feeding the AI information that is actually, in our case, not human relevant. Most of the experiments that have been done since, I would say, late 1960s up to now, I would say, about 80% of them are actually done in animals, or cells that are actually done in other animals than ourselves. Of those, 90% are actually made to focus on the male perspective of that disease, problem, treatment, you name it. That means that we have, it's not just a small hole of information, we have like this huge hole of information, which is extremely biased.
Yeah, we know everything about male mice, but not the human.
Okay, so that means that we know, all of us, that we are actually not other animals than humans. I think that we can agree on. But unfortunately for us, we are literally using, I would say, AI in a concept of getting information from things that are, I would not say false, because animal testing and things like that have actually made us move forward in many ways.
But it's biased.
It's actually biased, and it's also very, very much, in some cases, very connected to the failure we have in that part of development of drugs, products, cosmetics, you name it. Drug development, as I told some of you, has a 90% failure rate from the lab to you getting the product done. It's 90%. That's a huge failure, economical failure. If we go just and think of the money, that is, but then all the rest.
Yeah.
So I think that is the part where we need to work on the AI. Now to the good part of it is that what I see a lot, and when I see what the people that I work with, and myself as well, what I use it for is exactly what I found tedious with multi-dimensional analysis from before, meaning connecting the dots. I was talking to Gergő here about connecting in a multidisciplinary way, work together. Because the problems that are coming now with the fact that we need to be able to say that, okay, this drug needs to work on a climate that is actually changing, or that we are facing different ways of getting old, etc., you name it, and actually maybe including women in the whole equation, that would be nice. So all of that, of course, is super complex, as you can imagine. So having a tool that can actually help us put this data together. So the new data that is coming in, and put it together and say, you said you're referring to AI as he. I usually call it it at the moment. It's different for everyone.
Them.
And it's not them.
That's the politically correct way.
And you just try to say, I need to know if this results from this experiments are actually valid for this part. Can you do that for me? And they will then go back into the data that you have fed in, okay, and check. Yeah, actually it works for you. You should do something like this at the end. That is the way that I see it work. We don't need to feed it things that are biased or actually completely lacking relevance for that movie.
Or just really horrible structure. I see a lot of companies now just jumping on AI and want to AI themselves into profitability, to success, to whatever. They throw a huge pile of money on it. They try to get rid of people where they can save that money
Who
to
have
throw
the
on
insights and the experience.
throw it on AI, but they don't look at the original structure of the company and the information flow and the data flow and the data structure that they have, and they just throw AI at it. And what's going to happen? You have something that's faulty to start with, and then you multiply. It's like a cancer, giving some food to cancer cells. Like, hey, grow faster. Make me die faster. It's like.
Imagine this as well, and I'm just also giving you another example, which has nothing to do with other animals than humans. We have a lot of experiments where we have actually used cells, human cells, but they come from a disease concept when we are at the beginning trying to understand what it is, when it's normal. That means that the results that you're getting is actually not relevant. So those are the things that I would like to debate more of when it comes to my part, my nerdiness part of that. Because I see so much potential in using AI, as I told you. I also see that we need to work so much more and build this, I would say, try to get what I call the immense hole that we have and narrow it. But we need people to understand exactly that.
That's the whole AI governance. So how you use it, what is the data you use it, what you use it for, and what are the points when you check if it is fulfilling the reason you are using it.
So we are running out of time, unfortunately. But my suggestion is that we
haven't even started. I mean,
that's the point.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
But my suggestion is that we can just switch it into meetup mode and just keep on having the conversation without sitting behind these mics, which will not record your voice anyway, so it's pointless. So let's practical point of view.
But thank you very much for the insights.
I mean, amazing insights. But I'm really suggesting that we should just go on talking anyway. I mean, we don't have to sit here and you there, but we can have a coffee while talking. So, any last thoughts?
Just wanted to ask if anyone did vibe coding, or if anyone did coding with AI before over here on the. Yes, no, just a yes, please. 1, 2, 3, huh? Okay, great. So all the others who never did it, please do it.
Try it.
Really,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
tell ChatGPT to code something for me that's interesting. Look at all the stories which I was talking to you about, and figure out something that's interesting to be coded for me, and do that. And give it a few hours of chatting about one of your problems. And
use it, try it, experiment with it.
Yeah.